What up, guys? My name's Matt, and this is my first video of many to come about my adventure and through hiking the Appalachian Trail. I just want to tell you a little bit about me and a little bit about why I'm doing this. So, my friend, a friend of mine, took his life in 2017, and it put me in a real hard place. Depressed, very upset. He was a very close friend of mine, and him taking his own life by his own hand, really, it hurt me deep. And since 2017, November in 2017, I've been living with hate and sadness and just a lot of built up unnecessary negativity. And so, just to give you a little background a little bit and to get you up to date, so October 11th, 2020, there was a suicide prevention walk, and me and a friend of mine, Donnie, and his girl Sweeney, a friend of mine, Tron, we all went out to what they call the Serpentine Wall in downtown Cincinnati at night, and we were all sitting down there just talking, reminiscing, talking about our buddy who took his life, and just, talking. And I looked up at a bridge that crosses between Cincinnati and Covington, across the Ohio River. And I remember last year, 365 days from that day, that I remember because I was there 365 days ago for the suicide walk the year prior. I remember looking up at a particular bridge that crossed over from Cincinnati to Covington and thinking to myself, how long would it take for me to make it from the top of the bridge to the water, and if it was a guarantee that I would die. And so fast forwarding 365 days later, I was sitting at that same wall with a smile on my face. And I realized then that time is everything, but at the same time, time means nothing. The following day, my friend Donnie, I, and his girl Sweeney went out to Red River Gorge, which is in Kentucky. We had a 3-day camping trip, and we hiked around a little bit. And when I was out there hiking, I felt like that void, that hole that I'd been feeling somehow got filled. Like something about just being in nature, the trees, the falling leaves, the serenity. It's really what it came down to. Later on that night, from when we went hiking, we came back to our cabin, and there was a couple that was renting a cabin next to us, and the guy's name was Doug and his wife's name was Lori. And they really kind of drove it home for me. I told them a little bit about my story, and you're going to get to know more about it. The more you follow me, I'll give a lot more detail about my story. This is more of just a summary, honestly. But they told me, man, you got a story and it needs to be told. And in the back of my mind, I had been considering doing something change. I need change. And so we went out, we hiked again, and I came back that night for the second day, and I told myself, this is it. I want to hike the Appalachian Trail. What better way to find yourself than to get lost in the woods? And when I mean lost, I just mean in a place that I've never been in the woods, and 2,189 miles, depending on who you ask, I guess. That's a long journey. A lot of woods that I've never been in. And so I came home with this fire. There's just this burning passion, the desire to want to live. To want to live. I was tired of being tired, you know? So, here's my keys. It's the key to my car. I've driven my car twice since I've gotten back from Red River Gorge, and it's been going on 2 weeks now. Why? Because the most important thing that you can ever do in any situation in your life, ever, and it doesn't matter what you use this saying for, it holds true. The most important thing that you can do in your life, no matter what, is the next step. Whether it's you found a wallet in a parking lot, what's the most important thing that you can do? The next step. You can take the money, or you could turn it into somebody that could, get it to its rightful owner, the wallet, or you can attempt to make contact through a driver's license, The next step. You're walking down a trail and you stumble over a root. What's the most important thing you can do? It's your next step. Are you going to catch yourself? Or are you going to just fall and stumble and lay on the ground? And because you fell or tripped over a root, are you going to end your whole trip over it? Not me. My next step was to make moves. So every day since I've been home, I've walked to and from work. I've used a tow truck to go to the grocery store once, just because I was working, and I also became vegetarian, so I'm kind of limited on my food, on what I can eat. And that's also something that's happened a month prior to me making this decision. I decided I wanted to quit eating meat. And by the way, I'm a hunter. I like to hunt. I love meat. It's great. It's bad for you. It's processed. Chemicals are added, hormones. That's my reason. Not so much the animal rights activist stuff, but that's a factor too. But so walking to and from work every day, and even going out of my way. So I live a half a mile away from my job, which doesn't sound like much, and it's not. It's really not. I walk uphill to work and downhill home from work. But every day I've been walking an extra 2 miles. I go down this hill and I go all the way down to the police station down the road, and then I turn around and I walk back up the hill. I literally pass my house to walk extra, just to try to condition myself. I'm a big dude. I mean, you can kind of tell. 360 pounds, 6'2", and this is the like reason why I feel like I can do it. If I can make it through depression, number one, anybody can. I had a couple different situations come up in the last couple years of my life where potentially I could have ended mine. And thankfully, I didn't. And I'm still here today. And there's a reason I'm still here. And maybe I'm fat-headed. I wouldn't call it fat-headed. I'm not sure exactly what you call it, but my purpose, I feel like I found. I feel like if I can help anybody not go through what I went through, even if it's just one person, that's my goal. That's my purpose. That's my reason for being here. And so with that being said, I want to video everything from the beginning. Me, chubby cheeked, Mr. Belly, whatever you want to call it, Mr. Video Gamer, sitting at home on my days off. I never did anything. Going to the person that now I'm making the effort. I'm taking the steps. I'm moving forward. And I want you to follow along in this journey with me. So, like I said, it's the first video of many. And I hope if, you can relate to me in any way, that you'd subscribe, follow my story, and maybe it'll motivate you. Maybe it's the little bit of motivation that you needed. Maybe I can be that for you. So, with all that being said, focusing back on the trail, I've been doing a lot of research. There's two people I've been following on YouTube, kind of getting their input. There's a girl named Dixie. I believe her name's Jess. Her trail name's Dixie. And then another guy named Frozen. They're both on YouTube. If you haven't heard of them, look them up. They're both amazing stories. They're both knowledgeable. And so those are two people I've been kind of learning a little bit about, amongst other things. I'm looking at a lot of people's opinions, and as should you, because everybody's different. Everybody's going to be different in the things that they need and what their expectations are, what their reasons are. There's just a lot. There's a lot that goes into something like this. And so I'm learning as I go. Trails, the miles, the states, the gear. Gear is most important, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm not a thru hiker yet, but I will be one day. I know I will be. And you can think you have everything you need. Oh, I've been out in the woods. I can do this. I can do that. I can handle anything. But in reality, you don't know anything. And testing your gear as it comes prior to going out is, I think, very important. Just judging off of other videos I've heard from other people, and just from something so simple like this. I have a hammock, and that's what I plan on doing, is mostly hammock camping. I'll have a tent with me, but hammock camping is number one in my mind. And I was laying out in my hammock the other night. I worked the night shift, and it was kind of cooler. It was a misty night, and I was waiting for a call, and it was 60 degrees. In that hammock, I like the cold, but man, it was chilly. That hammock without insulation on the bottom of it, it drew all the heat out of my body. I could not stay warm. So little stuff like that, it's important. It's really important, because you don't want to get caught with your pants down out on the trail like that. So as my gear comes, I'm going to test it. I'm going to video what I get, how it worked for me, pros and cons maybe of it. Not that I'm any kind of an expert of anything, but I'm a person. And if you're looking at videos like I was looking at videos, you probably stumbled on this video just like I stumbled on the videos I did. And if you can get somebody who's not sponsored or not trying to sell something, not that the people that I'm following necessarily do that at all, but you'll know it's genuine. And that's why I want to video that stuff. But yeah, as more things develop in this story, I'm gonna roll with it and video it and try to give you the answers that I was looking for as I find them. And hopefully everything works out. Again, my name's Matt, And I really, really appreciate you taking your time to watch this video. And man, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe. And so it just kind of gives me a bearing knowing, you know, there's people out there that are interested in what I'm doing, and if that's the case, I'll do more. So I appreciate you, like I said, taking your time and listening to my story, and hopefully I can help somebody. That might help me. Growth is a good thing. The most important thing in life is your next step. That's what I got for you right now. So click the link below, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.